the equipment, for some of the equipment, offices have their service agreement. That service agreement are beyond those operational manual. The operational manual address only the current running and maintenance of equipment. How to clean it, how to plug in, how to use the electric power and all this stuff. There are specific other agreement for maintenance or contract. All the big company, even small company, they have their service agreement with the equipment provider or service provider. That means if you are using this AVX and you know that's the power cable and that's the internet cable, okay, and we want to plug in here. Plug in here, and then this power cable will just insert here and it's turned on. This is the basic function. We know about this and we can do that. But what happens if both of them they are plugged in but you are not receiving a tone?
It's going to be a false
Sometimes-
alarm.
Sometimes maybe we have to check the switch is on or off.
If you check the switch and even though you find it faulty and it's not working, what are you gonna do?
Maybe the cables are long, or is this possible? No, that's
That is the scenario where the
the
equipment is functioning.
function, okay,
You just turn off the switch,
okay,
you turn it on, it's not working.
oh. Then call.
Yes?
Yeah.
Call to?
Services.
Service.
Yes. There is the point, because we are not technical people.
That's right.
We know only the offices,
That's
office equipment, office things. But technicality, all the company, all the businesses, they have service agreement. So you have to check your procedure and follow the procedure, dial the number. All the food equipment or the business equipment, they have sticker on it,
Yeah.
which gives you the exact number and the name of the person to call for any technical issue.
Oh.
So this is the kind of contract or agreement which are all the company or businesses are maintaining to run their business equipment. Okay. So again, so sometimes we have a agreement with the manufacturer.
Manufacturing.
The manufacturer can give you all the details. Sometimes they tell you over the telephone what to do and how to do. And sometimes they send you a representative who come to your office and fix that issue then and there. But what happens if that problem hasn't been fixed? Then they take the equipment
Back.
with them
Mm.
and they fix it and they return it. But by the time they return that equipment to you guys, they put a sticker on that. That this fault was identified in this equipment and has been rectified on this date by this person. So whosoever is handling this equipment, if in future any issue came in, he or she knows that this equipment got this kind of problem before and that has been fixed by this person as well. So the purpose of this agreement to keep running your office equipment trouble free. So if you have any equipment in your office, what would be your idea if it's broke down? What do you think? What are you gonna do?
Main thing is, actually when we buy, apply equipment from, the companies, if something is wrong, so it takes time long and give us hard time with businesses, fixing and, the taking and the person is coming and see what faults there and the main thing is the time consuming. So
Okay.
with that important for us,
All right.
So I concerned about these things. Equipment come back to us, but it takes time. Which one is give us our business a little bit trouble,
All right. Anything else you like to share with your any observation or practical experience?
Well, in terms of the FBOS machines,
Yeah.
we've always had issues.
Yeah.
Like, so what happens is, if they're not able to help, we have to wait for the next service, and meanwhile the next service is dispatched. You have to wait, so there's no alternative on the time. So you can't really use that service until you receive the new one.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that could be improved. So they could either give you like an alternative system, which you can use until you receive your new machine.
All right.
So that would be one of the things, which can be done to sort of improve these things.
All right. So now is the summary what we have learned today. So how you can explain your experience for today, what you learned, and what you think could be added more in this session as well.
Yeah, that was good experience. We get to know little things about everything about the office and equipment, how to use that equipment, and if we got any problem, or how to solve that problem. And I guess that was good.
All right. What else? You like to share any of your experience?
If I could learn session, like I learned, what if something broken down, if something wrong in the system, what we have to do. So that's a good information.
Information.
Yeah.
So, what about the maintenance of equipment? The service of equipment? Any knowledge, any idea about that? We discussed about that. So if I asked you to recap that, so what do you learn?
So in terms of maintenance of equipment, what we learned is it's basically pretty much, so we learned pretty much like how, in case of like if you've got issues or if you're encountering anything, how to tackle them. How to use the equipment itself,
All right.
and like of course like basic normal operations. And if something is not going according to plan, what you can do, how you mentioned like you can turn the device off, turn it back on, and you can find out if it's working. If it's still not working, then you contact the customer service, and then you call them, and then you tell them the issue, and then they try to figure it out from their end, and that's how they solve the thing. So in terms of like the maintenance of the equipment. And also you mentioned like different tools you can use to clean the devices, like different cloths and like different material, because obviously every device has like its own sort of components, certain chemicals you can use on it, certain chemicals you can't. So yeah, pretty much.
What else? You?
Well, today we learned really everything in the how to do the before start your business. You should understand what things you need for the business thing. Which I learned today is really all the equipment of the business, using for the business purpose. We should be we should knowledge about that.
Alright.
And what we learned today is we get all these things which is good for the business.
Okay.
So these things is help us a lot today for the equipment and
So-
all these things.
After this lecture, if I'm gonna ask you, if you got a position of office secretary or office reception, how confident are you, and how, if you're going to your new office with new position and you're going to attend, it's your first day, how confident are you about that, how you're gonna manage that? What kind of list comes in your mind that I have to list out these things first before I start the day?
First of all, my computer desktop is working properly.
Okay.
My phone is connected, and which office I went before, I have to turn on the security codes and everything,
Okay.
and everything is proper, and around me, so I can start work.
Okay.
Call phone, especially phone is more important, desktop is more important, and printer is working,
All right.
and that's I have to check.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, we need to get to know about our surroundings, what's going on, like where are the entrance, where are the exits, and the equipment, everything about the equipment. If something is going to be wrong, so who's the person we need to contact, and all the information about these things.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
So, do you have any idea what is whatever we did today?
If I have to attend some office, I must know beforehand what my responsibilities are
Okay.
and how to use the equipment there
Okay.
and how to communicate with people and
All right. All right. Thank you. This is all about, but what we have to keep in mind. Couple of things we have to keep in mind. I'm just gonna explain you here. The right equipment. That was the first intention of this whole session. Then the right equipment means identify the equipment. Then operate the equipment. Then the third thing is running and maintenance. This is a bit crucial part. Maintenance, initially the brand new people don't need maintenance, but with the passage of time they need periodic service, and for all those services, like any periodic service, we have a service record. Most of the companies, they have register, which is maintained electronically or manual. So should be a record of service. Then we have to know about the procedure, policy and procedure. Some company have their standard operating procedure, which is called SOP. Some company have their policy. Some company have their automated things where, like air conditioning service. The companies have their air conditioning service agreement with the company, and those people who has the agreement with the company come to maintain and service the equipment like aircon and everything every 6 months, every 3 months, every year. So that equipment in the office should remain intact and remains working. Same as we are doing with our cars. Whenever we have a car, we are using, we know that up to after this much of kilometer, we have to change the oil and all this stuff. Then this much kilometer, we have to change the parts or something like that. So these kind of things commonly we are practicing in our life about the office equipment or any other equipment. Any question? Anything you don't understand today? Thank you very much. So this is our first session, and that is all about the use of office equipment. Mainly, we use the PABX. That is main equipment which is being used in offices in the front line of the office as well. Thank you.
Thank you.